Hayes has room. Hayes makes the cut. Yankees win. Oh, Yankees win.
Coming up on SportsCenter, after 18 years, it's finally ticker tape time in the Bronx. Winning the Breeders' Cup Classic was as easy as ABC, while the Tour Championship may be as easy as 1-2-9. A big battle in the SEC as Bama invades Knoxville. Special big plays settle a Big Ten top 25 showdown in Iowa City, while Miami is simply trying to avoid a third straight loss. Get this, first place at stake with the Whale and Sabres? Don't be so nervous. We won't save anything for later. SportsCenter's off and running next.
Hello again, everyone. Glad to have you with us for SportsCenter. Sitting here with Chris McKendry. I'm Jason Jackson.
Tears and cheers following the final baseball game of the year. Also coming up, it might have been Cigar's final run, plus all the football and hockey you could want. Today was a big day, but it was a big week, really.
That's right, and it started some long-lasting memories starting on Saturday night. On this day last week, the World Series was rained out. It was hard to predict what would follow. While it wasn't a long shot, it was tough to know the Braves would take both games 1 and 2 in the Bronx. But what was truly unpredictable was the fact that the Yankees would rebound, due in large part to some shuffles in the lineup, to win the next 3 games, shutting the door on Fulton County Stadium with drama. Saturday, Game 6 was back in the Big Apple with the Yanks in position to win their 23rd World Championship, their first since 1978. Top of the third, no score, Jimmy Key with Terry Pendleton on first. Pendleton off on the first pitch, and he's gone. Big out because Jeff Blauser would later double. But on the third, no score, 1 out. Greg Maddux with Paul O'Neill on third. Joe Girardi rips one to center over Marquise Grissom. O'Neill scores. Girardi in with a triple as he's hustling in. 1-0 Yanks. Next batter, Derek Jeter. Jeter singles to center. Girardi scores. 2-0 Yanks just like that. 2 batters later, Jeter on second. Bernie Williams singles to right center. Jeter scores. Bobby Cox needs an Advil. Yankees up 3-0 after 3. Top 4, same score, 1 out. Key in some trouble with the bases loaded. He walks Jermaine Dye. Fred McGriff trots home. That cuts the lead 3-1. Still 1 out with the bases loaded. Next batter, TP. Grounds weakly to Jeter, who turns the 6-3 double play. Key survives, 3-1 Yanks through 4. Top 5, still 3-1, 1 out. Grissom on first. Keys pitches in the dirt. Girardi comes up throwing, and Grissom is called out at second. Looked like he got under the tag. That's exactly what's on Bobby Cox's mind as he comes out to argue. Cox and Grissom plead their case at second base, and Cox ends up getting tossed for the extra dialogue. Yankee bullpen very effective. Top of the 6th, 2 outs, mid on first and third. Graham Lloyd in. He gets Ryan Klesko to pop up to second, and that would end the threat. It's still 3-1 Yankees. 8th inning, same score, 2 outs. Mariano Rivera gets it done. Gas to Javi. Yanks holding on to the 3-1 lead. Top 9, 3-1, 1 out. Klesko on first. John Wetland on the close. Pendleton slaps the single to right. Klesko goes to third and holds. Mid on first and third, 1 out. Next batter. Wetland gets Luis Polonia with the heater. 2 outs. Then Grissom singles to right. Klesko scores, cuts the lead 3-2. Next batter, Mark Limke, and here we go.
Swung on and popped up again off third. Hayes has room. Hayes makes the cut. Yankees win. Oh, Yankees win. The New York Yankees have won the 1996 World Series.
3-2 is your final. The Yankees do a victory lap around the stadium. Wade Boggs gets the ride on the police horse. Manager Joe Torre gets his first taste of World Series victory over 4,200 games as a player and a manager, and Joe Torre finally wins a world title. The Yankees' 23rd World Series triumph, a major league record. John Wetland, just one of many heroes from the organization, became the first reliever to record 4 saves in a series that earned him the MVP award. The Braves have been amazing in the 90s, but they've lost 3 of their 4 World Series they've been in this decade. As for the Big Apple, it'll be a little saucy.
I've been hard on Bob, and I'm a driver. I drive my people, but this team and this coaching staff have just been unbelievable. They typify New York. You know, my feeling for New York is it's a city of battlers. Everybody in this city's a battler.
It seems sweeter, a lot sweeter than, you know, after winning in '86 and being able to win again in '96 in New York. It's a lot sweeter for me because, you know, I'm truly blessed to, you know, have a great family and have my life the way it is, and I think that's the most important thing.
The Yanks are only the third team ever to win 4 straight games after losing the first 2 in the World Series. And guess what? New York has been involved in all 3 of those comebacks. This year's Yankee team is the only team ever to lose the first 2 games at home, then win 4 straight games. It's time to get to Yankee Stadium, where the Baseball Tonight gang saw the whole thing go down. Here's Carl Ravage.
Thank you. Generally, daylight savings time means you have an extra hour of sleep. Well, in the case of New York City and the Yankee fans across the country, it means an extra hour of partying. Yankees, of course, now the 1996 World Series champs. Early on Saturday, you got to the ballpark around noon. There was some electricity there, wasn't there?
Absolutely. And when the game started, now, this is the 24th World Series I've covered. This was the 173rd World Series game. It's Yankee Stadium. Yes, it is very different. I have never experienced the electricity that went through this ballpark when the game started, carried right through all the night. The fans were fantastic. And then at the end, when the game was over, you got 50-something thousand people singing New York, New York. To me, it was one of the, if not the most special nights I've ever been in a ballpark.
Peter, one of the things that'll probably come out in this World Series when it's really digested and spit out is the fact that maybe revenue sharing comes to the forefront, because it was the Yankees, George Steinbrenner, spending $66 million to have a complete 25-man roster that in the end made the difference. Game 4 was such a huge swing game when he used all 7 guys off his bench, all 6 guys out of his bullpen. And for the Braves on the other side of the coin, they had a great 14 or 15 players, but their bench in postseason went 0 for 22, and that was a huge difference.
A record for futility. By the way, spending that much money, generally you don't think it makes much sense. In this case, it was money well spent. John Wetteland, he was here last season, he's here this season. The recipe for Yankees' success this year: get a lead, get it to Rivera, get it to Wetteland. Well, in the World Series, they turned it over to John Wetteland 4 times with a lead. He ended up with 4 saves. He is now joined by Gary Miller.
Thanks, Carl. John, as Carl just mentioned, it was going into this game, it was hard to pick who is the MVP. It could be any one of a number of guys on this team.
It could have been, and you know, that it's me. I just want to point out the fact that I wouldn't even find the field, you know, if it weren't for the effort of my teammates, you know, for the previous 8 innings. And you know, they're the ones that gutted it out all series long, and I appreciate the work that they did. You know, and that trophy is just I'm always going to remember and appreciate the effort that they gave when I look at that trophy.
Now, when we had to wait a couple of minutes to come out with you, and you said, hey, I'm easy. But you don't make things easy out there, even though you got 4 saves. Every one of those times you put a man on base.
Right. You know, I wish things could be a little cleaner, but, you know, sometimes it just doesn't go that way. But, you know, fortunately, I could reach back and find something when I needed it absolutely the most, and it was there this series. And that's all there is to it.
How do you sum up the closest to this team amongst the guys we talked to? Cohen has been around the major leagues. Girardi came from the Cubs and the Rockies. Jimmy Key was a Blue Jay. You look all around. Fielder was a Tiger earlier this year. Lloyd was a Brewer. You were an Expo. How did you all come together?
It's just real interesting. I mean, we have a lot of veterans, but they're all easygoing guys, you know, and a joy to play with, you know, and a joy to be around. They've seen enough baseball, and they've seen enough attitudes, I think, to be disgusted with it. And we're not into attitudes and egos and everything. We got egos in the clubhouse because it takes that to compete, but you can't find them anywhere. And it's just, we're a real close-knit family.
Okay, well, congratulations, John Wetteland, out of a team that goes top to bottom, 1 through 25, all contributing. He's the MVP. Carl, back to you.
Thank you, Gary. And as far as the 96 postseason went, it went according to the Yankees bullpen. 6 wins, only 1 loss, and every time they had a chance to get a save, 7, they came through. They did not walk many, only 20, and they struck out 55, but it was more than just Mariano Rivera and John Wetteland. In fact, at times, Rivera struggled. The key for the Yankees all season long had been go 6, turn it over to Mariano and John and get it done. That wasn't exactly the way it went in the World Series.
No, but it certainly did in Game 6. They got Jimmy Key to go 5+. David Weathers came in, Graham Lloyd came in for a big out, and then they went to the most dominant setup man in baseball, Mariano Rivera. When the New York Yankees had a lead after 6 innings this year, they were 75-3, and that's mainly because of Rivera and Wetteland. But You know, in a year where more games were blown in the 6th, 7th, and 8th innings than any time in Major League history because of inadequate relief pitching in the middle and the setup man, Peter, it was Rivera and Wetland, but they also had some help from a couple of other places.
Well, the Yankees knew back in August they really needed that left-hander to get them to Rivera and Wetland. They went out and got Graham Lloyd. It didn't work for a while, but he got healthy, and he became a terrific story because he was the guy that nailed Fred McGriff and Ryan Klesko. Game 3, came on with a couple men on base, pitching to Fred McGriff, popped him up. Now, this game was very important to get McGriff, to get Klesko, to get one more out in this inning. He then get Klesko, and that enabled John Wetland to be able to only have to get 3 outs, which meant he could pitch 3 nights in a row. Then, and of course, in the great game, the 11-inning game, he came in, got McGriff to hinder that clutch double play. Then he went in to open the 11th. After hitting, struck out Klesko, got them to Wetland, and in Game 6, and Jimmy Key got into the big trouble. He came in after David Weathers and popped up Klesko. 2 2/3 innings, 4 appearances. He's a national hero in Australia. Both networks were here covering him. He says he's going home to going to be in Perth for the winter and go body surfing in the Indian Ocean. And don't believe me, it doesn't get any better than that.
This is body surfing in Perth. No, it does not. As far as the Yankees starters go, well, they struggled early on, but boy, I'll tell you what, every time it seemed as if they needed a particular pitcher. David Cone, Game 3, perfect. Andy Pettitte, Game 5, perfect. Jimmy Key, Game 6, it worked out perfectly. Gary Miller is with Jimmy Key.
Jimmy, I know it's one of those old things at a ballpark when they say, "Will you marry me?" and they have the sign up, but you have a pretty special story here for Game 6 of the World Series.
Yeah, we got engaged today this afternoon about 1:30 before I came to the ballpark, and we just knew it was going to be a special night, and it turned out that way.
What made you decide to do it before it started that you had to have to possibly win the championship?
Well, we've been kind of waiting on it for a little while, and we just decided today was a good day, and we had a chance to make this a very special night, and she graciously accepted, and we're on our way.
You've done a little broadcasting for ESPN. This is a little better than the Little League World Series.
Just a little bit, yeah. This is awesome. Second time through, but this is great.
Speaking of the second time through, the first time you pitched against them, Grissom and McGriff gave you a lot of problems. Tonight you neutralized them. Why was it a different story against the Braves this time?
Just a little bit more better pitches. I wasn't satisfied with the way I pitched in Game 2 here, and they took advantage of some bad pitches, and I made a little bit better pitches with men on base tonight. The pitch to Terry basically saved me and got out of that big inning, and I'm still not satisfied the way I threw, but it was good enough.
Jimmy, can you think all the way back to March when people thought this guy's career is probably over? We don't know what he's going to give us. We don't know if he's going to make the staff, to where you are at this moment.
It's unbelievable. It puts all those hours into, you know, Karen knows what I went through, going through rehab, and, you know, the team was playing last year, and I'm going to rehab clinics, and just kept the faith. And, you know, I'm just lucky that Dr. Andrews gave me a second shot with what he did with my shoulder, and this is awesome. I never figured that I would be back here, but it ended up that way.
Okay, well, congratulations and congratulations. Good luck to you, too, and you'll get another ring after the one you got for this one. Carl, back to you.
Hi, Gary. Thank you very much. And, boy, after outscoring them 16-1 in Games 1 and 2, the Braves offense, in particular, after the 5th inning of Game 4, basically slowed down to a crawl. Batting average then, .205, with only 2 runs scored. They did not go deep. The Yankees, in fact, only went deep twice in the entire World Series. As far as what Jimmy Key was able to do in Game 6 versus Game 2, it was more maybe mistakes, I think, the fact that the Braves hitters didn't hit him. What do you think?
Well, the Braves were inconsistent all season. Now 25 years. Only one team instead of losing September and ended up winning the World Series. That was the '81 Dodgers. The Braves had the losing September. Their inconsistencies carried over as they weren't as good when they had in those 5 games. They outscored their opponents 48-2. They weren't as bad as they were in this series. But Jimmy Key was a radical night. There was a pitch that Chipper Jones normally could have nailed. He did not. Jimmy Key, 22 batters, 8 first pitch strikes, 8 2-0 counts, 10 3-ball counts. Mark Lemke normally can drive that pitch, and here's the pitch. Look at this. Chipper Jones, on most days, would have hit that ball out. Instead, it's a routine fly ball to Darrell. There, Terry Pendleton with the bases loaded, trying to pull a ball down and away, but it was still out over the plate. And even the pitch Graham Lloyd made to Klesko, a little bit of a hanger. But that's what happened. The Braves just really struggled these last 4 days. They did not play their game.
Greg Maddux on the other side of the coin. He threw 105 pitches in Game 6 as opposed to 80 in Game 2. Joe Torre said he thought the hitters would have a little more of an advantage. You know, the scouting report on Maddox, you can just throw those scouting reports out because if he makes his great pitches, you're not going to hit him. The only time he faltered in the 2 games was in Game 6 in the 3rd inning when he proved he was actually human. He started making some mistakes, getting the ball up in the zone. Paul O'Neill on a 1-2 pitch, rakes one into the corner, lead double for O'Neill. Mariano Duncan 0-2 pitch right up in his wheelhouse where he can advance the runner. Then Girardi gets a pitch over the middle of the plate. Triple over Grissom's head, 1-0 New York. Derek Jeter goes with a slider and keeps it up the middle. Again, middle plate. Maddox making all his mistakes in 1 inning. Then Jeter steals because Maddox does have a slow delivery, and Bernie Williams drives in what proved to be the winning run with a drive into right center field. Greg Maddox only faced 3 over the minimum in the other 7 innings that he pitched, but in the 1 inning, he got the ball up, and he didn't get away with it.
Yes, the strike zone, at least the strike calls, were a bit erratic. It was the Yankees who were able to get away with that. They got the offense. The Braves did not. Back with much more as we continue on SportsCenter, an emotional Wade Boggs, as well as a look at the team of the 90s. Is the team of the 90s now the Yankees?
Thanks, Carl, and we will be coming back for more. Now on to college football. As for Kansas, they got to sit around all afternoon thinking about their primetime game against Nebraska, a team they have not beaten since 1968. Kansas is without suspended leading rusher June Henley. Nebraska has not allowed a touchdown in 14 quarters. I think the Jayhawks enjoyed this afternoon. Huskers are going for number 34 straight at home. Second quarter, 21-7 Nebraska. Scott Frost in the shotgun, and he bootlegs right for a 10-yard scramble. 28-7 Huskers. Late second quarter, now 35-7. Frost finds Brendan Holbein, and he zips through the Kansas D for a 15-yard score. 42-7 Nebraska at the half. They win 63-7. On Tommy Frazier night, Frost showed off. 3 TD passes. He also ran for 2, 12 of 16, 254 yards. His best showing yet as a Husker. Their 34th straight win at home breaks a 90-year-old school record. Also undefeated in the Big 12, number 8 Colorado hosting Texas. Texas up 3 in the second when James Brown. Play action fake, Mike Adams. 50-yard touchdown. Brown's 38th career pass, a school record. In the fourth, Texas up 3, Colorado at the 1. John Hessler, quarterback sneak. It's good. Hessler was in for quarterback Coy Detmer, who left the game with a second-degree concussion, but he did return in the second half. He watched the game in street clothes. He watched Colorado rally to a 4-point victory. The Buffs undefeated against the Longhorns since '89. It's the 3rd loss this year for Texas against a ranked team. CU, however, rather immune against the upset. They have not lost to an unranked team in 34 games dating back to '91. Another big victory in Manhattan. Kansas 42-35 K-State. Brian Kavanaugh's 4 touchdown passes ties the school record. He completed 27 of 38 for 342 yards. Jason.
With just cause, namely 2-star quarterbacks, most college football people began the season focused on the Florida-Tennessee battle for the SEC title. But what about Alabama? The Crimson Tide has rolled to an undefeated record with a conservative offense and a smothering defense, particularly against the pass. As Bama entered their battle with Tennessee on Saturday, it marked the 4th time in the last 5 years they have played a midseason game with the Vols without having a loss. They're undefeated in those 3 previous games. Third quarter, Alabama up 3-0. Alabama 3rd and 11 at the Tennessee 40. Freddie Kitchens, a big boy, back to throw, flushed out of the pocket. Finds the wide-open Marcel West for a 40-yard touchdown. Surprisingly, Alabama up 10-0. Fourth quarter, Bama 13-6. Tennessee driving. Peyton Manning hands to Jay Graham, who goes in for the touchdown. Tennessee tied it at 13. Same score. Tennessee 2nd and 12 on their own 21. Manning hands to Graham. Graham breaks tackles, heads down the sideline for the 79-yard touchdown. Tennessee 20-13. 39 seconds remaining in the game. Alabama 4th and 10 at the Tennessee 11. Kitchen back to pass. Leonard Little rips him. That's it. Tennessee goes on to win the ball game. The Vols beat the Tide in Knoxville for the first time in 12 years. 3 interceptions killed Alabama's 13-point lead. Dennis Riddle put in a solid day for Bama, rushing for 184 yards in the heartbreaking loss. Elsewhere in the SEC, Kevin Falk ran for 170 yards and 2 touchdowns and passed for another as the 13th-ranked Tigers beat MSU by 8. LSU, the SEC's best rushing team, has now scored 24 touchdowns on the ground, 6 more than they had all last season. Off to Tallahassee for a major ACC clash. Florida State hosting Virginia. It's 31-17 at that time, and they go on to win big. Thad Busby finished the day with over 300 yards passing in 2 touches, his best day as a starter, connecting on 25 of his 36 pass attempts. Last year, Virginia ended FSU's 29-game ACC winning streak. You know, folks, payback is a dog. It was North Carolina over Houston. Chris Keldorf might have put up big numbers, but Leon Johnson was the all-purpose man for the Heels. Johnson finished with 74 yards rushing, 36 receiving, and 121 yards in kickoff and punt returns. Johnson is now North Carolina's all-time leader in all-purpose yards. Chris?
Tom Lehman admits confidence has been the weakest part of his game. Said Lehman, "I always heard I was good." Well, in this case, believe what you hear. Heading into the 3rd round of the PGA Tour Championship with a 4-stroke lead, Lehman had reasons to be confident. He has the 2nd-best 3rd-round scoring average on the tour, a 68.67. And he had the best 3rd-round score at both this year's U.S. Open and that British Open that I believe he won. Southern Hills Country Club in Tulsa, that's Tiger Woods. He knew would be Tiger's score. Tom Lehman going for birdie on 11. He began the day 4 ahead, 15-foot birdie putt, 10 under. Brad Faxon birdie on 13.
Little railer, he did not get over the hill on his 2nd.
Up and over and in. He shot a 4 under 66. Vijay Singh on 13. He sinks a 12-foot birdie putt. He shot a 1 under 69. Lehman on 14. 25 feet. Just keeps stretching the bird every hole. 11 under. Now on 17 at 12 under. This is the approach shot. And it's marvelous. 3 feet from the cup. He shoots a 6 under 64 today. After 3 rounds, he leads by 9 strokes. That ties the largest 54-hole lead ever since the PGA started keeping track of such a stat in 1970. Just 6 of the 30 players are even under par in this tournament. Good showing for Watson, who's back at the championship for the first time since winning it in '87. Among the 9 winners on the PGA Tour Championship, there is a total of 114 PGA titles, 12 majors. Woods is 10 over par, 23 back of Lehman. Final round weather, wet, cold, and rainy. I'd say that sounds like the British Open.
Chris and I are just getting started. When we return, it's off to Canada for the first Breeders' Cup Classic on Canadian soil. Cigar was looking to set a record on foreign turf. We'll check the results in a moment. Also coming up, the Buckeyes special teams scared Hayden Fry on film. We'll see how they performed in person against Iowa. Plus, Mort will stop by to let us know why Jeff George is vacationing in Seattle. Does their offer sound better after being waived? The answer is forthcoming because this is SportsCenter.
Golfers, here's an opportunity of a lifetime to play with the same driving iron that PGA professional Mike Smith used to drive a ball a world record 335 yards from the fairway. But that's not all. This amazing club automatically corrects hooks and slices. The controller's explosive power comes from its oversized head. Its uncanny accuracy comes from a patented curve across its hitting surface that automatically reduces the abnormal spin caused by off-center shots. Ordinary irons will hook or slice off-center shots into the rough. The controller keeps them on the fairway. No other iron can do that.
Finally, I can murder the ball without losing it.
What an amazing club. I've cut 6 strokes.
We know that if you hit the controller 3 or 4 times, you'll never play with a fairway wood again. You must hit longer and straighter and cut at least 5 strokes instantly or your money back. Call the number on your screen now and cut 5 or more strokes, guaranteed.
Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best. 2 of America's favorite instructional videos are now available only through this special TV offer. Get tips from Steve Miserak, Pretty Boy Floyd, Iwo Mataya, and other pool greats. Now, for a limited time, you can order both videos for the price of one. Learn the secrets of breaks, banks, defense, position, angles, and trick shots like the Massey and the jump.
Take it from me, The Miz. When you purchase Pool the Master's Way and learn from the best, you'll learn everything you need to know how to shoot pool like a pro. With these 2 tapes, you can do almost anything except beat me.
World champion Steve Miserak takes you through the best ways to improve your game. Call the number on your screen and we'll send you this wonderful 2-video cassette collection for just $19.95 plus postage and handling.
2 for the price of 1? How can you go wrong?
These videos have never been offered together and are only being offered for a limited time. Call now. Have your credit card ready. An operator is waiting for your call. Sorry, no CODs. Call now.
Big Ten, Iowa, Ohio State, that's bleed 10-3. Second quarter, 24-3 Buckeyes. Joe Montgomery, the handoff around the right side. He breaks some tackles and then just goes it alone all the way to the end zone. He would take it on the next play. He ended there at the 1. Ohio State goes on to take this 38-26. Big improvement from last year for Iowa when Ohio State led 56-7 at halftime. Iowa City is a tough place to play, but Ohio State is 12-6-1 there. Iowa has not won at home since Ohio State since 1983. The Buckeyes end the season against Michigan. That could be the remaining Big Ten test. Minnesota, Michigan, big battle for that little brown jug. No score in the first. Scott drives back, rolls out. Ty Streets is in the end zone with the football. 36-yard touchdown. Streets' first TD of the year. Michigan up 7-zip. On Michigan's next possession, Chris Howard breaks through the Minnesota secondary. He's gone 86 yards. He had 2 touchdowns on the day, both of them big runs, as Michigan just racks it up against Minnesota. 44-10 Wolverines win. Minnesota has not possessed the little brown jug for a decade now. Michigan's 10-game winning streak with that jug is the longest in the 103-year history of their rivalry. It's the Golden Gophers' 11th straight Big Ten loss.
To the Pac-10, Arizona State and Stanford. First quarter, Arizona State up 7-0. Jake Plummer finds Lindsey Jackson on the 17-yard slant for a touchdown. Plummer's second touchdown pass. He was 21 of 34 for 316 yards as Arizona State wins big. The 40-mile-per-hour winds were blowing in the Sun Devils' direction. 21 first-quarter points was the proof. Keith Poole pulled in 10 passes from the Snake for a total of 116 yards. ASU has now won 4 of their last 5 meetings with Stanford. Number 23, Washington visiting Oregon, and Dillon, the great gosh, my goodness, provided the second best rushing performance in Washington history. And remember, he didn't even become the starter until the 4th game of the season. The Ducks have lost 5 straight to fall to 0-5 in the Pac-10 for the first time since 1986. Chris?
After being the best over the past 2 years, Cigar will be remembered as the best of the decade. The big question, would he save his best for last? The 6-year-old, most likely making his final run, was seeking an unprecedented 2nd consecutive win in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Woodbine Racetrack in Toronto, $4 million classic. Out of the gate, Cigar off well from the 7th post. Darren Go and Louis Couture both get out nicely. As they approach the quarter pole, Darren Go comes to the inside, 1 length ahead. Mahogany Hall's a close second. To the stretch, Alphabet Soup, Cigar, and Louis Couture in a tight race. Chris McCarron holding on with all he had aboard Alphabet Soup, and he stretches out to take it by half a length. McCarron's 3rd classic win. As for Cigar, he loses his 3rd race in his last 4 outings.
There they are. They came under the line.
5-year-old Alphabet Soup with Chris McCarron is the upset winner in record time. It's the Soup's 4th win in 7 races. Preakness winner Louis Couture was 2nd, Cigar 3rd by less than a length. His 3rd loss in 20 races. Alphabet Soup pulling in big numbers Saturday, over $2 million.
On Friday, the Los Angeles Kings dealt winger Peter Klima to the Penguins for a conditional draft pick next year. Klima had not scored a goal for the Kings this season, but that's kind of a trend for the Kings. Los Angeles has lost 3 straight, giving up 13 goals while scoring 3. They look to get productive against the Flames on Saturday. Giannis Hagelund with a slap shot. First period, he falls with the rebound and he scores. Or does he? The goal immediately waved off. Take another look. Dave Gagne interferes with Stéphane Fichet. No goal. Scoreless after 3. We head to overtime. Gagne on another breakaway. Couldn't get it in. Nothing. You know, on October 18th, 1977, the Yankees beat the Dodgers in the World Series, and the Kings played to a 0-0 tie against the Islanders. There's something about that connection, and you figure it out. Fichet, 35 saves for the 2nd shutout of the season. Pins in Canucks. Nothing. Early first period. Mogilny gets level. Loose puck. Martin Gelinas picks it up. He scores. 1-0 Canucks. Now 2-1 Canucks. 3rd period. Mario Lemieux. Shorthanded breakaway. But Corey Hirsch isn't intimidated. A fan throws a ball onto the ice. But it doesn't affect the outcome. Hirsch with 26 saves. Pittsburgh has dropped 8 of their last 10 games. The Pens have been outscored 43-23 this season. Corey Hirsch made 26 saves for the Canucks. Caps and Blues, lots of lamp lighting in this one. Washington comes back from 3 goals down to beat the Blues. Jason Allison scored twice. The Caps have beaten the Blues 9 times in their last 10 meetings. And the Red Wings get by the Bruins. The folks in Detroit are loving Brendan Shanahan. He scored the key goal in the first minute of the 3rd period. The Bruins are still winless in 4 games at home.
Still ahead on SportsCenter, we're going back to the Big Ten. Northwestern never boring with the Wildcats. Do they run away with yet another? And back to the Bronx, not boring there either. World Series coverage continues when...
It's hard to imagine anyone who hits harder than Mike Tyson. For that reason, he is the most feared boxer in the world. He comes at you with either hand. It doesn't matter. Wouldn't be afraid to fight him. Finally, Tyson versus Holyfield, one of 3 heavyweight championships. Saturday, November 9th, live on pay-per-view.
From the beginning, we offered all our employees medical coverage. We noticed that costs started going way up. When the HIP came along, one by one, they all signed on. It began an avalanche.
I don't worry about getting sick or anything like that because I know that I'm covered.
HIP sent me a list in the mail of physicians. The list was pretty big, and I got to choose whoever I wanted.
That makes me feel good. I go over to the doctor if I have a problem, and boom, that's it.
It's funny, I sound like an endorsement for HIP, but it's worked out very well.
God, if you created all men to be equal, what's up with Nicholas?
Jack's incredible, isn't he? I throw wind at the guy. I throw rain. I give him a big appetite. The man just keeps on winning.
He ever ask for your help?
All golfers do. You remember Augusta in 1975? Jack was not alone.
Is Nicholas the greatest golfer you'll ever make?
Tough to say. Got some outstanding new talent I'm in the process of creating, but I'm still tinkering. Settle down, Ginger.
Time to get with the seniors at in Maui at the Kaanapali Classic. 2 frontside eagles for Bob Charles as he makes a run for his 3rd Kaanapali title. Hale Irwin was 2 back at the turn, but birdied to 15 and 17, finishing with a 66 matching Charles. You can see the run for first place Sunday at 5:30 Eastern only on ESPN.
More ice time. Northeast leader Hartford visiting Buffalo. Sean Burke back in the net. Game tied at 1. This is Mr. Whaler, Kevin Dineen, taking the pass from Andrew Castles. Slips it by Burke.
Kevin Dineen again. The save percentage for the...
Still in the first period, Whalers lead 2-1. Pat LaFontaine breaks away. LaFontaine takes the pass from Alexei Ziknock, beats Burke high. Sabres tied at 2. Second period, Richard Schmelik takes it from Zitnik and slaps it by Burknick. Sabres win 6-3. Buffalo makes it 4 straight wins and their 2nd straight game in which they've scored 6 goals. The loss snaps the Whalers' 4-game streak. Hartford played without injured defenseman Paul Coffey for a 3rd straight game. Avalanche and Oilers, that's a 4-2 final. Avalanche, they beat the Oilers for the 5th straight time. Patrick Watt, 25 saves in his 600th career game. Still to come on SportsCenter, more college football. Could Miami pull off an upset and win? Believe it, a wild finish in West Virginia. This is SportsCenter.
Kid, you got a talent, but you got a problem. You're too nice. We'll fix that. Okay, Mr. Lambert. That's how you do it. Good start, kid. Tomorrow, headbutts.
Welcome back. Big one in the Big East. Miami visiting West Virginia. 3rd quarter. Miami leading 3-0. 2nd and goal. Alvin Swoops punches it in. Touchdown. 7-3 West Virginia. 4th quarter still 7-3 West Virginia. Brian West punt is blocked by Termaine Mack. Nathaniel Brooks ends up with the rock and scores. 10-7 Miami. Miami hands West Virginia its first loss of the season. And you know why special teams are special now, don't you? Thanks to the block and recovery for a score, Miami avoids its third straight loss and remains undefeated in the Big East. This is West Virginia's first loss in 9 games. Illinois battling Northwestern, who has been living right the last few weeks. 2 minutes left in the fourth. Northwestern down 4, 4th and 5. Adrian Autry, he's in there. 27-24, Northwestern wins again. And how many comebacks can these guys produce? The Wildcats, now 5-0 in the Big Ten, collected their 13th straight conference win. Adrian Autry is in for injured Darnell Autry, no relation. He carried the ball 30 times for 128 yards. On the flip side of Northwestern, the Hoosiers have lost 13 straight Big Ten games. After a solid first half, Indiana only had 4 first downs in the second half while allowing 38 points. Joe Jurevicius finished with 156 yards on 4 catches for the Lions. When Chris and I return, we'll take you back to the Bronx in Chris's car, of course. Greg Maddox, wish he was along for the ride. Back to the Bronx in a moment.
I love my country.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Best city in the world. I like the Midwestern attitude. I love Hawaii.
From Idaho.
Moscow, Idaho.
Sausalito.
By far the most beautiful place.
California.
The mountains, the beach. I love football.
I love basketball.
Hockey.
I love to swim.
I like to surf. 7th inning stretch. Buffalo, New York. United States of America.
United States of America.
USA.
Eagles are looking to bring a Thursday night fright to the Iron City when they battle Pitt in a Big East Halloween showdown. Boston College Pitt, Thursday night at 8, only on ESPN.
Time to get whacked. BYU and Texas Christian, second quarter. Texas Christian down 17-0 and punting. The long snap is all messed up. Live ball. BYU gets possession on the TCU 13. Next play, Steve Sarkisian passes to Ko Kealalui. Touchdown. 24-0 BYU. Sarkisian threw 20 of 20, connected on 20 of 26 passes for over 300 yards, spoiling TCU's homecoming. The Frogs did help the Cougars' effort by tossing 2 interceptions, losing 2 fumbles, and botching a punt, as you saw. BYU stands undefeated in the WAC. Elsewhere, number 21, Utah hopped all over Tulsa. Juan Johnson ran for nearly 200 yards and 3 touchdowns in his starting debut for the Utes. Johnson got the nod because Utah star running back Chris Fumatu Ma'afala is sidelined with a knee injury. And number 24, Southern Miss 31-28 over Tulane. Kendrick Lee's 1-yard touchdown run gives the Golden Eagles their 6th